Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Now, coming up later in our show, we'll have footage of our crew out in California. They went to a Trump demonstration or anti-Trump demonstration last night, and they caught a lot of violence on camera. Like I said, we'll show you those videos later on. But if you go to the top of Drudge, that's all the rage. That's all they're talking about right now. Trump is actually at a different event as we speak, meeting with various people, and there were protesters out there to greet him. Now, the issue I have with these protests, or protesters more accurately, is the way that they're going about it. I talked about this last time with the self-righteous social justice warrior, this person who is so angry at Trump or any political contender for that matter, that they feel it is perfectly acceptable to go out to a protest and spit in people's faces, to pepper spray little girls, to do donuts in the street and endanger other people. This is the mindset that these people have. You know, I'm not a Trump demonstrator, you guys know that. I'm not a Hillary supporter, I'm not a Bernie supporter. With all that said, I would not go to a Hillary Clinton event and pepper spray little girls in the face, or pepper spray somebody who is around little girls. I wouldn't go to a Bernie demonstration and do donuts in the street and endanger the people out there. I wouldn't go to a Trump demonstration and punch somebody in the face. It's how these people are acting. Meanwhile, they want to call him a racist, fascist, sexist, bigot, whatever, you know, they want to call him this week. And a lot of times when they talk to these guys, if you watch the videos that are coming up, they ask them, what is your issue with Donald Trump? And they'll, for as many things that you could say legitimately about the guy. You could talk about the torture aspect, or the wall, or the lack of domestic privacy. He wants to, you know, have all these measures to get into your devices and all that. Legitimate criticism of the guy, but people will say he's violent against Mexicans. I'm like, when did he say he's violent against Mexicans? I'm as skeptical about the guy as many of the people at that demonstration. I've never heard him say that. Similar things when people talk about he's violent against Muslims. I've never heard him say he wants to be violent towards Muslims. Now, he did say he wants to torture the families, or is up to torture the families of terrorism suspects. Those people aren't always necessarily Muslim, but that's really the only violence I've heard come out of the guy's mouth, or, you know, condoning of violence. Other than that, these people don't even want to criticize him for the things that he actually said and believes. They just want to go out there and endanger other people for their own means. But we'll have all those videos coming up here shortly. And as I was talking about the surveillance apparatus with Trump, we now see this article: Supreme Court ruling allows FBI to hack and surveil computers. Prior to the decision, Rule 41 of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure authorized search and seizure by law enforcement only within their own jurisdiction. Approved amendments to the code now permit the FBI and others to hack into computers and seize data, even if that computer's actual location has been concealed through technical means such as Tor. As it stands, the proposed amendments allow the FBI to use a wide array of invasive and potentially destructive hacking techniques where it may not be necessary to do so. Basically, if you think about the old warrant system, you had to say what you were searching, where it's going to be, you know, who's involved, all this stuff. Now they're saying with these new changes, they could say you could be potentially anywhere out of the jurisdiction of the FBI, and they can still come and confiscate your materials, search your materials, do anything that they want to do. And we're getting more and more towards this mindset. If you think about the situation now, a lot of law enforcement agencies around the country are starting to do this thing where you get pulled over and they want to look in your phone, you know, for really no reason. You know, you get pulled over for a busted taillight, they could potentially say, I want to look at your phone, see if you were texting. He's like, I wasn't texting, my phone was in my pocket, or it's in my purse, or whatever else. But they just use this as an excuse to check your data. A similar thing when you look at the Apple phone and the whole recent controversy with that. They said that they wanted Apple to build a backdoor for them to use anytime they felt like it, but it's only a one-time deal. People didn't buy that. So eventually they hacked the phone, spent millions of dollars, or at least $1 million to do so. And they're not any better for it, in my personal opinion. John McAfee told them how to hack the phone without using all this expensive equipment. But bureaucracy wouldn't allow that to happen. They had to spend money and make a big deal out of it just to get in Apple's face about it. It seems like every day they find a new way to take our privacy away from us when it comes to our electronic devices. Now I want to talk about a story that's going on overseas, not so much the lack of privacy, but the lack of life that's going on in Syria. The Syrian conflict has been going on for some time. It's been heating, escalating, and now this is the latest in a string of attacks. Syrian airstrikes hit hospital, kill at least 20 in Aleppo. Several airstrikes hit a well-known hospital in a rebel-held area of Aleppo, killing at least 20 people, including 3 children, a dentist, and one of the last pediatricians left in the divided city, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Monitoring Group said on Thursday. Doctors Without Borders said 14 patients at the hospital it backs were among the dead. Opposition leaders blamed the government of Assad. Now, I was trying to do some research and make sure that this was Assad. Multiple news agencies are saying that it is Assad, but I'm always skeptical when I hear things of that. Not that Assad is a good guy, but we've seen multiple times they try to blame him for stuff that he didn't do. Case in point, the chemical weapons attacks, I believe, of 2013, if I remember correctly. Basically, if you guys remember those attacks, it was all over the news on mainstream media here in the States that Assad was running around tear gassing people or chemical weaponing, using chemical weapons to kill people. And the issue about that was, if you look at those videos, in the corner they had a watermark that was an Al-Qaeda watermark, or these extremist group watermarks. I'm like, well, why would Assad film these things, put them up on the internet with the watermark? It was complete bull. So I'm always skeptical, but for right now, I'll take their word for it that it was Assad, and hopefully we'll get some cooler heads to prevail out there and get some answers as to why this hospital was destroyed. But now we have new answers, or the answers that they want us to hear, as far as why the hospital was destroyed last year. If you guys recall the attack in Afghanistan, where the Doctors Without Borders facility in Afghanistan was hit by U.S. artillery. And we see this, Pentagon announces punishments in deadly hospital attack. And this is back in October of 2015. A U.S. aerial gunship attack on a hospital in Afghanistan that killed at least 42 people occurred because of human errors, process mistakes, and equipment failures. And none of the air crew or U.S. ground troops knew the target was a hospital, a top U.S. general said Friday. Now, once again, this somewhat conflicts with what we've heard from Doctors Without Borders. They've been saying that they knew that it was, in fact, a hospital. They'd been operating out of there for some time. The rationale at the time, back in October 2015, was that militants were using this facility for some reason. I don't know if that's true. Maybe they went in at some point to get patched up, but it wasn't an official base of operations. That's what Doctors Without Borders is saying. And now they're saying that 16 military members from this incident have been disciplined, but none will face charges. And I'm very interested to hear that. If you go to a hospital right now in the United States of America and light a trash can fire, you are going to jail. But if you blow up a hospital, kill, 42 people, they just say it was an equipment failure, mistakes were made, there's no reason to investigate this any further. The guys retired when this attack happened, and they've been disciplined, but nobody's actually going to go to jail or face any charges. Now, once again, when you talk about these attacks overseas, whether it's a manned gunship or a drone or whatever, these guys are hitting targets that they're told to hit. So I'm not even so much mad at the individuals in the gunship or the drone operators. They're being told to hit X target, an X area, and take it out. So it's really the guys who give the orders, not so much the guys who pull the trigger, even though you do have a manner of discretion in that, or at least I'd hope you would. So that's always the deal. There's no sense of accountability, and that's the big issue with the drone program, and now we're even seeing it with gunships. Nobody wants to be held responsible, because you guys have seen that old video, that WikiLeaks video of the helicopter flying around, and these guys are carrying their camera equipment, and they shoot down at them and kill them, or they injure them very severely. Some of them died. And then another guy pulls up in a minivan, terrorist-looking minivan. Everybody knows they drive one of those. Has his kids in the car, gets out to help the guy. Now they're shooting at the kids in the minivan, and it's completely ridiculous. And then you can hear one of the guys up in the gunship who's saying, well, they shouldn't bring their kids to a battle zone. It's like, well, they live there. They don't have any place to go. That's where their home is. The little bit that they have is based in that country, in that area, in that region. They can't just pick up sticks and move down I-35 like I could living here in Austin and go down to San Antonio. It's not an option for everybody out there. So I really wish people would get rid of that mentality. It sucks for them type of mentality, because sooner or later, that type of mentality will come home to you. And speaking of a guy who's not going to be coming home anytime soon, we see that North Korea has sentenced another American to hard labor. Now, this particular guy is being sentenced for spying, a very serious offense in any country. So I'm not coming down too hard on him for that. But if you guys remember, I believe it was just last month We gave you the story about the American student who went overseas, North Korea. He stole a poster of all things, and they gave him 15 years hard labor, and he was basically being used as a political pawn. And that's the same thing they say here in this article. Scott's just a political football to be used at a later date whenever it suits North Korea to try to make some type of exchange or whatever they might want to do with the unfortunate gentleman. And this is Kim Dong-chul. They say he's been spying for a little bit of time now.
A lot of people ask me, what is the most important area of Infowars that runs the whole operation that is having such a big effect against the globalists? And I've said it over and over again, it is you, the listeners and the viewers, that send us the intel, the news tips, that support the broadcast, that spread the word. You are 90% of the operation or more. You don't stand beside us, you stand at the heart of Infowars. When I talk about the people at Infowars, from customer service, the shipping department, being just as important as our anchors, our researchers, our investigative journalists, and myself, it's absolutely true. Without this team that we've built over the last 20 plus years, we wouldn't be able to do any of what we've been doing. And that's what's so exciting, because we finally built up to a point where we now have the launch pad. Introducing AutoShip from InfoWarsLife.com, a new way to save time and money when you stock up on InfoWarsStore.com products. Again, ladies and gentlemen, when products are sold out, you're unable to get them, sometimes for months, but we hold back the products for people that have already signed up for AutoShip. When you choose AutoShip before checkout on your order at InfoWarsStore.com, we'll give you 10% off and give you guaranteed delivery of out-of-stock products that are on your AutoShip list. Plus, we're giving you free shipping on all orders above $50. Listeners have been requesting this for years because it's so easy to forget to reorder the products when you need them each month. Now it's finally here. AutoShip at InfoWarsStore.com and InfoWarsLife.com. It's easy. Go to InfoWarsStore.com, select your favorite product, click on the AutoShip, and choose how often you want us to send you another order. As you know, I coined the term 360 win, and with the new AutoShip feature at InfoWarsLife.com, it's a sure win. You add to that free shipping on orders of $50, it is a can't lose. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and save 10% off on your next InfoWars Life order by selecting AutoShip at checkout and get free shipping on all orders above $50. That's InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.